Welcome, ladies and gents. We've got a very interesting conclusion to this group. We've got Group D, where we've already got Laming here. We've got Dark here in the blue. Now Dark, as he comes over to lame Dragonstar, Dark is already out. He's already relegated. But the thing is, there's no pressure for him. It's still $30 per win. And, you know, he wants to show the fans out there, hey, this is why I was top 4 in the previous season, just because I'm having an off season. So the group is just wild right now coming into the final rounds. We have a pause now. Hopefully no bugs or no issues. But, I mean, Dark's out. Dragonstar could surpass Viper depending on how Viper plays against Mihai. You got Vivi and Sato there all fighting for playoff positions. So really, the only thing that is set in this group right now is that Dark is going down. That is basically it. Which makes the final 3 sets so interesting. And they will be back-to-back-to-back here. The pause is giving me a bit of paranoia. And thankfully, it's not a game bug. We actually had Dark just needing to pause. But something that Dragonstar has done in a lot of these games this season is he has gone for the lames. He has gone forward to try and get a small res lead. And Dark is going to do the same to him here. So already Dark stole 1 goat. Dark also has these other 2 goats moving around. Will be rather funny if Dragonstar finds a goat with his own goat down here that's hiding. But Dragonstar just kind of has to let that go for now. Dragonstar's going to push in the Zebra, and Dragonstar is the Georgians. We saw him do this against Mihai. What he did was he brought his villager forward, and he docked really early because the Georgians start with the mule cart, and you don't have to spend any wood on it, right? So your dock always goes up faster, and then he got a scout to stop Mihai's dock. Remember, Mihai came back in that game, but I think like if you could do that, you'll be in such a nice position here. I'm curious what Dragonstar does with the scout now. Let's see, because you could push in those 2 other ostrich. That'd be good. That's fine, and you might even be inclined to do it because you lost the sheep. But you also should know eventually Dark's going to send a villager up there. And Dark's already got the villager going this way. But it's interesting that Dark is not headed towards the middle. That's typically where players will go because you have the ability to full wall in your villager on the shorefish, which you don't get to do on this swampy terrain. Or it's not swampy, it's I don't know, whatever that is. I don't know. It's not important. I guess swampy's kind of fine. And here comes Dark. Yeah, so he's just following along this terrain. He will move to the middle now. The scout's not moving for Dragonstar, so he won't get the snipe. Marsh, thank you, chat. And Doc will be up from both. Now, Georgians have the fast start because of the free mule cart. Portuguese, though, very consistent civ throughout the whole game. Additional HP on your ships is a great bonus. Forgers getting some wood when you spend so much wood on this is a great bonus. All your gold units being discounted is huge. So it really just comes down to, can Dragonstar use the timings, in my opinion? But it's very similar. I think Dragonstar was up against the Italians here. And Italians felt very similar against Georgians, where they're just better overall. But Georgians have those tiny timing advantages to use. The theme, though, guys. The theme has been infantry for Dragonstar. He loves his infantry. So I'm almost expecting him to play man-at-arms, even though Georgians are known for scouts. I think he went forward against Mihai. But man, I mean, you just imagine your Dragonstar's position. It's like, there's so much weird pressure here because you need the wins to survive, but also because everybody else is beating Dark. I've talked to players about that. It's like when they're up against somebody who's 0-9 or 0-6 or something, they feel this weird pressure, like you have to win, and it's like it's unforgiving. Just because the other results are weighing on your mind. So fishing ships are on the way from Dragonstar. Scout's here now, and he'll find what he's probably expecting, which is that Dark has the dock, and it'll be 3 fishing ships from Dark. And Dark just obviously has tons of food. Dark's got 10 goats underneath the TC. And he's got the elephants. And he's got the zebra there. So this means he delays the mill for a very long time. He's not going to need any farms or anything for a long time. Whereas on this side, obviously it's still good for Dragonstar. He's got 4 goats. But yeah, it's just it's a completely different world in terms of the transitions. Dragonstar attacking with the villager. Dark gets the walls down, and we have the nice little wall there from Dragonstar to trap the Vil. Now, the Doc is actually firing some arrows with the garrison, so the Doc fired arrows, and it hit the scout from Dragonstar. Not what Dragonstar would want, and Dragonstar will actually be later to feudal age here. So Dragonstar will drop the barracks at a time which would still indicate man-at-arms to me. And another dock there from Dark. That's interesting. The fact that he's still able to get a dock down there is pretty telling, but it's telling of his build, and I think that that's kind of okay for Dragonstar. We haven't seen as many 2-dock approaches on water just because before it used to be 2 docks versus 1, you kill the fish. Now 2 docks versus 1, it's arguably too much of an investment because the opponent can just garrison. But obviously, I don't think it's a bad move for Dark. And he also will drop the barracks here. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to produce nonstop out of that. It's really tough to do when you're also going to go for the barracks in the archer range. And here comes Dragonstar. Ramalki, good morning. Welcome. What's up, Tamar? What's up, Knight? Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully we have a crazy day of AoE 2. I know Dark doesn't have the wins in the group stage, but the build's looking really sharp here. He's got the perfect amount on food. He's got the perfect amount on gold to do what he needs to. The only thing for me is I wonder, has he scouted Dragonstar? Does he know that Dragonstar is going to come forward with the Drush? To me, it feels like he has a very strong idea. But there's Dragonstar with his patented forward archer range. And the militia are moving around. And Dark is going to go for the big walls. It's almost too tempting, right? You look at this, you're like, ooh, I can get that wall down. But there is still going to be an opening back here. But I could definitely see Dark planning on those full walls. Dragonstar's getting pressured on water, which he should expect because he could see the 2 docks. Loose the fishing ship. And here comes the man-at-arms. And I don't think that Dark actually knew that this was the build from Dragonstar. And Dragonstar is blocking with the scout, and Dragonstar will get an easy villager kill there against Dark. The Dark might end up winning water here. He still has the Hawks out there. We'll see. But Dragonstar likes to play aggressive on the land. Very nice start for both builds. You have the water lead for Dark. Dark now needs to stabilize on land, though. And he'll have the wood lines walled up for now. He still doesn't know about the forward archer range. Again, economically, though, Dragonstar's having issues because of the lane. Like, Dark doesn't need the berries at all. Like, Dark's still got tons of food underneath the TC. So it's a very easy game for Dark economically at the moment. Whereas for Dragonstar, it's kind of rough. He's got to drop a mill now. He needs the farms quickly. Down here, he's got a mule cart on the food. But this has been common for Dragonstar. Like, his eco has just been a weak point compared to other players. He has food in the bank, and he's just not producing villagers, guys. Like, this is rough for Dragonstar. But strategically, in terms of the attacking, and I'm sure the micro over here as well, that's been half decent. He is pressuring the fish, making Dragonstar really work on his multitasking. And then he's got an archer and a skirmisher on this side. He also has, he's going to lose his scout, maybe. Oh, that'd be such a nice save because he's Georgians. That'd be such a nice save. Oh, that's so good. And he's also got the tower going up there. So there's just so many things. There's the water. There's the scouts. There's the archers. There's the tower. And so many things can go right or wrong for either player at the moment. This is an army Dark needs to respect. And then he's also going to have to leave this woodland at the same time. Really painful situation for Dark. I like how Dragonstar didn't completely forget about water. And I love this tower too. Because you've got the army here. And now you've got the tower here. And now Dark's like, what do I do? Where do I go? Dark's losing some archers behind the woodline. Dragonstar's got so much pressure coming in. And it's just so much pressure that the idle TC stats shouldn't matter here if you can get the kills. We have a counter tower from Dark, which I actually really like. With the 1 villager towers, you can just build your own and garrison and shoot that down. And he is on 2 archer ranges as well. So I think with 2 archer ranges, in theory, that should be enough to turn this around a little bit. But some nice control for Dragonstar at the moment, despite not having the water. Again, Dragonstar said in his reviews, in discussions after his previous set where he got 3-0'd, he was ahead in every single game. He felt he should have won every single game. He's got to continue being consistent with the army production here. That's how he gets the wins. I like some of these details. Like the mule cart down here is nice. I like the house on the berries, actually. Looks ridiculous. He's such a crazy player, man. As I said, I think Dragonstar is must-watch Age of Empires when it comes to TTL, at least. But, you know, I still think Dragonstar can adapt... Dark, rather, can adapt into this. He's still not losing that many vills. He'll have a lot of skirms here soon. And that should be able to put an end to the army that Dragonstar has out here. Dragonstar might have enough eco to switch out of ranged units, though, and go into scouts. So there's the stable. My God, dude, this is insane. It's so funny, though. Like, these houses, you need the houses anyways. That's so disruptive to the berries. It's so annoying if you're Dark. And look, right when Dark wants to push out, all of a sudden, oh, look, there's another unit here. There's a scout here. You can't move out. You can't breathe the entire game. And you're supposed to have one water. But you haven't won water yet. That might change just as I say it. He doesn't know, but there will be more scouts coming. That was actually the starting scout that Dragonstar got good value from. And Dark is just taking down the house because he wants an efficient mill. He does do that. Now he can take his berries. And he is also killing off the man-at-arms. But man, this is messy. Ooh, hold on. Villagers are here. I don't know if Dark even remembers that. Because I don't remember that. I, like, vaguely remember him going after the villager that built the tower. But you've gone too far forward now. And now, not only is the villager going to survive, but then 3 villagers are going to be exposed for Dark. Oh, man, that's so good for Dragonstar. Sometimes when you play chaotic players, it just kind of breaks your brain a little bit. And you become chaotic as well, but in a bad way. Dark losing those 3 vills hurts. And now he's stuck primarily on skirmishers against scouts. But he still has the gold. He still has 2 ranges. He still has fletching. So he could just produce some archers. And a mix of archers and skirmishers is very strong against scouts before the upgrades come in. We are 19 minutes into this game. No castle age in sight. Does feel like Dragonstar has lost some of his control on water. But he did snipe some fishing ships there. So there's only 1 fishing ship. Armor upgrades on the way for Dragonstar. His skirms dive in to snipe some of those archers. The scouts are also attacking the skirms. And the armor upgrade will be in, and the villagers are still for the taking here. This is well played from Dragonstar. He's just so aggressive, guys. It's insane. And early feudal, his eco is kind of struggling. But what he's doing now is really nice. This is helpful. But look at the farms. Look at the berries. Look at the balance back here from Dragonstar. He's got the market as well. He's got horse collar too, which is a huge upgrade to add for those farms. Resources collected. Dragonstar's got the slight lead. I do really worry about the army because skirm and scout is really costly on food. And he doesn't have the armor on the skirms yet. So high archer numbers could be problematic. It's just still not really high archer numbers though, is it? Yeah, it's just not a very big group. And Dragonstar pushes it back. Dragonstar gets the kills. Oh, that's a huge find. Again, guys, if you're a big Viper fan and you want him to at the very least stay in Platinum League, you are rooting for Dark right now. If you're maybe a Vivi fan, I guess Vivi, I don't think Vivi really matters. I think the big storyline with Dragonstar really is the Viper situation. Because Dragonstar, if he has any chance of survival, is going to need to win and then hope that Viper loses his set. Both players have been really entertaining to watch for different reasons. Viper's completely different storyline, obviously. It's like, for Viper, he's won so many tournaments. He's been around for so long. There's an expectation for him to always make the playoffs, and people this season have been really prepped against him. Then for Dragonstar, I just love it. You have a couple of these players in TTL who know it's like they have to be so well prepped to stay alive in these groups. And Dragonstar's prep has been evident, but unfortunately, nothing's confirmed right now for him. But this game, he is in the driver's seat. He's killed 15 eco. He's got 4 deaths. He will kill more villagers here. Dark still hasn't clicked up to the next stage. Dark had to fight for so long to get the water control. It does have the water control now. But, I mean, that water control is not going to have a lot of time to really pay off here. And in 90 seconds, we'll have Knights from Dragonstar. Look at this economy. Sick, man. A superhero, how dare you? You know that's not what I said. Yeah, just, like, when was Dark ever able to relax this game? Like, some people will see Age of Empires as a nice way to relax from life. I don't think that's the case at the high level. But, like, the whole game, we've just looking at Dragonstar dishing out pressure to Dark. And every time he would clean up one mess, he'd have a whole nother army appearing. He'd have a resource denied. And, I mean, okay, Dark is on the way up to Castle Age. But Dark Unfortunately, he's making a lot of skirmishers right now, which should be really difficult to utilize if we see knights from Dragonstar. And there's the 2 stables. He can relax in a minute when it's GG. Yeah, maybe. That's when you relax. Dragonstar's going to put him to sleep. How's that? Oh, nice snipe there from Dragonstar. Another villager snipe. I feel like in this position, I'd love to see a Siege Workshop on the front. Honestly, I would also be okay with a second TC, but that's not really Dragonstar Titans League energy. Dragonstar Titans League energy is full send mode. He's dropping churches in his eco, which increases the efficiency of the surrounding areas. Love how these vills are still down here. Yeah, here come the knights. If the knights can't actually run in, though, if the walls are down, this actually gives Dark a lot of time. And remember, Dark's still got the ability to freely fish the north. So this is where you'd need the siege to pressure. I think that Dragonstar thought he was going to be able to keep this open. But as long as Dark pulls vills, like, this army should never... These knights should never get through. They should never get through. They should never get through. Okay, they're not going to get through. That's crazy close, though. Well played from Dark. Yeah, you have the skirms there just to hit the enemy skirms on the other side. And the knights are still battering on the houses. They're not going to get in. And, but the knights get in over here. There was a hole over here, and the knights do get through. Oh, that's so frustrating for Dark. If he kept it walled, he's okay. But these knights getting into his gold is just not okay. And then the repairs over here are excessive as well. Oh, man. More villagers going down. 24 eco kills for Dragonstar now. It's at least going to be 25. And the second TC's on the way up for him. I love how when you're watching Dragonstar play his best Age of Empires, you never look at his base. Like, I feel an obligation to do this. But realistically, if we were only following the action, we would never look at Dragonstar's base. It's always at the opponent's base. And then, you know, like, if you ever look at Dragonstar's base for the action, that's normally when, okay, the game is falling apart for him and maybe he's going to lose the game. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Superhero, you called it. I'm a big fan of going Cav Archers in this position. Dark... I don't know. Upgrading crossbow didn't really feel worth it because he didn't have many archers. So I'm a little surprised with that. He'll go for Cav Archers, which has the mobility to keep up with the knights and is still very cheap with the Portuguese. But guys, it is telling that Dark has lost 27 eco and is still only 5 eco behind. For all the positives for Dragonstar, this game is still very close. Of course, part of that's the fishing eco, but part of that is that Dark has done a better job keeping his villagers producing the whole game. And Dragonstar, I think, has some monks out getting relics. We might see the relic count go up for him. And just 2 TCs. Knights are about to get +2 armor. And there's just not enough range units right now for them to deal with the +2 armor knights very easily. Monks, though, are going to be nice. I don't really consider monk a ranged unit, but technically it is. And monks will scare Dragonstar off big time. I still think Siege is a really nice play here. Or maybe your own skirmishers or something. But to me, a Siege Workshop would be in order. Dragonstar's farming eco is increasing. Eco upgrades are solid. I'm seeing a lot of idle time. Villagers standing around. And down here, the villagers get found. And Dark, 76 population. It is 66 population for Dragonstar. Nice job from him to hold, but he's going to lose some monks here. He does get a conversion, but he then loses that relic. I think that's still worth it for Dark because your monks are super cheap. As long as he has consistent monk production, it should be okay, but Dragonstar knows the monks are his biggest threat and has light cav now. Man. Sad mule cart noises. He's lost his friend. There go the Cav Archers. Would love to see the second TC at some point for Dark. Dark has stayed one town center a lot this tournament after he falls behind. When you fall behind, staying one town center is very logical, actually. Why invest into the long term when you're already going to lose it? But I think with these resources, realistically, he could probably still be on 2. So we'll see if that changes. Again, he's already relegated, so he probably just thinks, let's just be aggressive and play heavy army. And there he snipes a monk and loses a Cav Archer. But he has a big army count, but it's all kind of random units. It's very AI-like, right? He's got 7 skirms, 5 crossbows, 3 cav archers, 2 monks, 1 knight, 5 hawks, and a freaking partridge in a pear tree. Like, it's just very all over the place. And Dragonstar's got consistency to his army. He's dedicated to a certain comp. And the light cav just dove through, sniped a monk, and now they go directly to the gold as well. So nice snipes from Dragonstar. He hasn't taken any significant counter damage. More villagers getting sniped. And Dark is annoyed right now. This archer range, I think he's patrolling his army forward, and he's just running into Dragonstar's buildings, which is the benefit of forward buildings. Now, every time Dragonstar wants to know what's happening, you can just look there. And Dragonstar now drops the 3rd town center as well. Yeah, it felt like this game could have led to Dark snowballing with big military numbers. But again, it's just Dragonstar in his base, Dragonstar controlling the game, and Dark just isn't applying the pressure he needs at the moment. And Dragonstar sees the army. There he goes. Light Cav's on the front. Will it do the job? Can it kill the monk? Oh, that's so good. That's so good. The tiny little Cav Archer army goes here. He garrisons, though. So he sees the CA. Monk will probably die. Oh, he was so close. That was his life's mission. It's kind of sad. Another monk just got sniped by the Light Cav here, and that Dragonstar can go right back in, kill this army again. It's not a very big CA army, and this still isn't fully walled for Dark either. And it just... Game number 1, it's feeling like some of these other games we've seen from Dark this season where the opponent hits him early. He doesn't quite have what it takes to keep his eco set up to compete in the long run. And Dragonstar's aggression, I was a little worried for him. I didn't know if his aggression would necessarily work because Dark has played one town center a lot. Dark has actually played high military numbers. But this game is all Dragonstar at the moment. Dark just too late to the timings here. Resources, again, are looking fantastic. But the Vil count's 82 to 56 right now. That's not even the Vil count. It's 44 to 82 with the villagers. The fishing ships are not very efficient at the moment. And, yeah, I don't know what Dragonstar's mindset's going to be. But for me, this would be a big confidence builder. I think this would be maybe the game where you feel the most nerves. Typically, the first game, you got to shake those nerves off. And Dark taps out and calls the GG. Again, guys, Dark is a very fast player. Dark was top 4 in the previous season, but he has not been able to keep up to the meta this season. And Dragonstar's just chaos just kept him so busy the entire game. And Dark was never able to get the game that he wanted. Game 1 goes to Dragonstar. We'll pull up the updated odds. That is one of 3 wins that he's going to need to give himself a chance of survival today. Dark is dangerous, though. Like, I really think Dark on his home map, this next map here, he'll have a very nice plan. But he needs to be aggressive early. That's the thing. If he is the one being aggressive, if he matches the aggression from Dragonstar, then I think these players end up being 50-50. Dragonstar's aggression's just insane. Welcome, everybody. We've got Vietnamese for Dark. Expected. He's done this before. It's a very good civ for him because he likes to play into lots of, like... Well, I mean, he likes to play meta, but this season he's played lots of 1TC with good eco. And lots of 1TC imps. I could see him actually trying that here. He goes forward with Vietnamese. Again, Dark's already relegated. He still is ready to be a problem. He has the potential to shake things up. And he moves forward with the Vietnamese. And he's stealing that boar. And I think Dragonstar, he knew the boar was there. But he was over here and he was maybe looking to push in his deer. Dragonstar's like, oh no. Dragonstar's melee. And he's looking to go find this right now, guys, which is honestly kind of ambitious. But let's see. You will always see the boar in the fog of war you've scouted if they go there. So you almost want to go a straight line and hope to see the boar in the fog if you don't see the scout. So that's what he's doing. This would be incredible. This would be incredible. So you do the straight line and he finds it. He actually finds it. Wow. Okay. Now you need to block the boar. Here's the boar's vision. And if the boar ever doesn't see that scout for even just a split second, the boar will stop chasing. Now, you're happy with getting the scout hits. You don't need this boar right now. So you getting that additional hit and then going for the blocks is okay. Because we're still looking at the boar's vision. You're still doing the block. I mean, Dark has to stay close. And up there for a half a second, not even. You saw what happened there. And then Dark is... Okay, well, I can't explain that. You know how they say sometimes you just gotta let them go? Well, that's the same with boars. I can't explain why Dark went back there, except he envisioned his life with that boar, you know? Now his scout is dead. Now that's not so good, because he might not even have his resources. Like, there's no way you can reclaim that boar in that situation. I think Dark should have tried to save his scout at least. Dark does come over, though. He takes the pigs. He's going to take this boar. So we'll have most of his res. But he won't have his scout now to see what Dragonstar's doing. And that can be dangerous because Dragonstar loves this militia. And so it would not surprise me to see Dragonstar consider a barracks here. What is Dragonstar's plan, though? Because his scout's now committed forward. So he might be missing some things. Obviously, he has that boar now, which is huge. Looks like he's just going to mill the side. Milling the side is huge because your opponent can't scout you're doing it now. I think people don't do this typically, but yeah, I think if I were Dark, obviously I've watched more games than Dark because this has been my life for 3 months, but I'd expect the militia, I'd like pre-wall and stuff. So there's a little bit of threat for a strategy that is not actually going to happen now. But funnily enough, I don't think Dark is playing like he's expecting the militia at all. But honestly, knowing Dragonstar, he might just use this food to fund the man-at-arms. So. Polly says you can feel how T90 is Dragonstar fan, but I kind of am as well. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of results that make the tail end of the group interesting first and foremost. But also, I'm not going to hide my feelings on it. I love when the whole concept is like, you want players to take it seriously. You want players' preparation to pay off. When I'm casting a player who very clearly has taken this 110% serious and is going to try and take every moment he can to take advantage of it, it's hard for me not to be excited to watch them at the very least, you know? So, I just find Dragonstar very interesting because very frequently you just have like so much talent out there that like talent can stabilize from poor strategy and lack of preparation. But like Dragonstar is one of the situations, I'm not trying to imply he's not talented. That would be incorrect. But he does things that other players would say are not great for like meta play and stuff. And he makes it work for his style. Like he knows, okay, I'm not as fast as everyone else. I'm a bit sloppier than everyone else. And he leans into it. All of his strategies, they are all about the chaos. So yeah, very fun. Here come the militia now. Later than the strategy would typically come in. Dark is going for some big walls. Now, Dragonstar, did he scout this side? He never did, so maybe he thinks that there's a chance his opponent's over here or over here. Obviously, we know that's not the case, and he needs to get the walls down. And this is why the drushing, if you're going to do it, typically comes in a little bit earlier. You can prevent these types of walls, so that's a little frustrating for Dragonstar. It's actually wide open over here. I'm not in love with Dark's eco situation. Having no food underneath the TC right now is painful. Having no scout is also extremely painful to not be able to see what's happening. Luckily for Dragonstar with melee, he can still click up. And he's gone for the other mill as well. So you have about 1,400 food on both of these sides. It is a little bit annoying. You have to click them onto the fish after the rabbits. But that's a lot of free food income. It's very efficient. I don't think that Dragonstar does this if Dark doesn't lose his scout. Floyd says T90 wants Viper to sweat. Yeah, I would love that because it would mean lots of excitement today. So yeah, no offense to Viper, but yeah, absolutely would want you to sweat. No doubt about it, man. We want more of the as I've been saying, must-watch AoE too. So it's already crazy that Viper might not make playoffs. Because everyone was implying that this group was going to be the easiest group out there. But I think that Mihai and Sato, Vivi, like they all stepped it up this season. Dragonstar's played really well. And I think it's been a mix of everyone else stepping it up. And then Viper maybe just not being very sharp. Let's be real. But I mean, it's Viper in like a do or die important 5th round series later today. It's gotta be very awkward to be Mihai and feel any type of confidence there. I think Mihai will be more prepared, but I think Viper will be ready to go. So, in the end, Dark just chilling behind his walls. He gets the walls down. He's got a great adaptable economic civ, like we said. And so it has Horse Collar, has double bid axe. The militia haven't done anything for Dragonstar. And Dark's just playing very safe, and he'll play towards Castle Age, where I expect skirmishers and archers, maybe siege. But this is a nice wall off here. We've got the gold in the back. We've got the stone in the back. Multiple wood lines. The only thing that's disappointing for Dark is because he doesn't have the scouting and he's literally in the dark, he can't, like, go out here and know about this. Funnily enough, he hasn't seen any of the rabbits die, because if you see the rabbits die in the Fog of War, you should move out then. But he didn't scout anything else. Dragonstar is keeping a very close eye on him to see what he's doing at all times. The militia are over here killing the rabbits. Sad times. Lane says, in Viper vs. Mihai, who gets to be yellow? Question mark. True. They both pick yellow. Well, usually the way that works is whoever hosts the lobby. So I'm going to guess Mihai is going to host the lobby. But maybe Viper... I don't know what you do there. I mean, Viper's the player that we always associate with the yellow color, but that's funny. Mustache Matt says, didn't they change the fact of seeing dead hunt through the Fog of War? No, I proposed that change. That has never been changed. So if you scouted these rabbits and you see the rabbits die, you could still, like there, you could see that. That has never been changed. I think that should be changed, though, in my opinion. If they're changing so many different things about the game, I really like the fact that you would have to scout to reclaim that information. The thing that shouldn't change, in my opinion, is seeing a boar that's being stolen through the fog. So that would be kind of inconsistent, but I think for laming would be way too strong if you couldn't see where the boar was. So, here comes Dark, getting fletching now. I think Dragonstar, more than anything, is a little paranoid about his villagers on the side. Initially sent his army this way to protect this. And now these villagers are... Oh, there's a hole. Oh my god, there's a hole. Oh, man. Oh, no way. He had so much time. He had so much time, and there's a freaking hole here. Dragonstar needs to damage control. That's extremely frustrating. Again, he needs these wins. Like, he kind of needs the 3-0 and then some help from Mihai. And, oh, man, we've all been there. There's actually... there's a hole in the back as well. But that's not bad for Dark. Again, Dark's played passive because he kind of had to. But overall, it's not too bad. In a ranged unit war, Vietnamese can be very competitive. Dragonstar sacrifices his scout. That's a bit of sloppy micro there. And yeah, just maybe some shakiness there. Again, there's like so many positives to the way Dark is played. It's why the majority, the high-level players will not take the sides. Because it complicates the job you have to do. There's a lot of walling you have to do behind it. Eventually, the villagers have to come home, and you have to balance out where you put them. Here, you just put everybody on a farm, a little bit on gold, and you just keep it nice and simple, and play ranged units. Dragonstar's walled now. He's on the way to Castle H. Will be faster to Castle H. And losing one Vil with melee is no big deal. Wondering what the game plan, what the choices are going to be here. You could play 2 ranges. You could play ballistics. You could play town centers. You could play siege. Normally in a ranged unit war, where players are making skirmishers, you might actually see, yeah, stable. You might actually consider knights in either player's position. Elephants are really cheap with the melee. So yeah, just skirm v skirm. I'm wondering, will we see a stable for Dark maybe? But that Castle Age time is going to push Dark back big time. Dark just hoping these 3 archers can separate and do something. Seems kind of unlikely. And 8-2 KD for Dark, but still, just don't know. Is this going to be enough for him? He's used the market. He's sold a stone. From a time perspective, too, it's like you're relegated anyways. You're just like, let's just go all in every game. Why not? Second archer range, so I think it would just be full skirm from Dark. It's going to be a knight from Dragonstar. Why are people doing this, man? The civilization's got super cheap elephants. The answer is because the knights are faster. But it makes me sad. I would always go elephant there. But the elephant might not end up catching. And the knight just relieves some of the pressure. The other knights actually... Oh, no, just the skirmishers are headed for those archers there. Second town center there from Dragonstar. So he'll definitely have the superior eco. And honestly, the knights probably paid for itself already. Just in the amount of space and time you have to breed. It's very nice. And Bodcanero is in as well for Dragonstar. So he can still micro down the ranged units. And nice side-to-side micro there. Snipes the spearman. And now Dark will be up. Now, once Dark gets elite skirm numbers... It gets the upgrades. Melee Knights are not going to be that terrifying. But Dragonstar's got the time now. Also sees the second range. So when you know second range, you know maybe a Siege Workshop could make sense. It's either that or you match your opponent's skirms. But that's also kind of dicey because the Vietnamese get extra HP on their skirms. Another game where Dark's getting crossbowmen for like 3 archers. Which, I guess he's got the resources for it here, so it's okay, but it just feels like a very big investment. Like, at the high level, we have to be extremely critical of decisions, right? It's like, was that tiny little move, that tiny investment worth it? And a 200 resources invested into an upgrade is like, just like crazy, right? Because you can do a lot with 200 res. It's been a consistent theme for Dark. And it's just a sign that the player's not quite there with the timings. It's not that crossbows, he's going to make more units now, but it just didn't fit the timing perfectly. A T90, why don't people play melee on water maps anymore? Or more? Great question. I think part of it's just because they're better on other maps, and there's other civs that have better early game water bonuses. So I think if you eliminated 5 or 6 civs from the game, you'd see melee play a lot on water. Just they don't have an early game bonus. That's the main reason. I think the situation Dragonstar finds himself in is one of the more dangerous situations. You've got 3 town centers to manage. That's a lot of economy to balance out, and your opponent is investing pretty much everything into the attack and saving resources to maybe go imp. So typically 1 TC can beat 3 TC, I would say. 2 TC beats 1 TC. It's this whole conversation, but this could be dangerous for Dragonstar for the next couple minutes. Obviously, if he holds it, though, his eco should be very strong, and Dark is not exactly pushing him, so... I think Dark's going to go imp. I think that's the plan. Like, look at his food count. Look at his gold count. He's definitely not building a second town center anytime soon. Feels like fast imp. And if Dark gets Bracer on range units, he's insane. But so far, still only killed that 1 villager because of the hole in the wall, so... Yeah, Dragonstar's eco upgrades are not the best. Dragonstar doesn't see this army over here. Dragonstar's just attacking on these sides. He must know there's going to be a big attack through the middle. But there's the attack, actually. The attack's on the sides, which I think Dragonstar has noticed. Yep, he's aware. But I don't know. His army's not really that strong at the moment. He doesn't have a single armor upgrade on the skirmishers. He also really needs this market to balance out his resources. I could start to see these fights snowball a little bit. He doesn't know he's got a 20-vil lead. Score's really high for Dark. Yeah, the knights won't contribute too much. Is this enough skirmishers to engage? I mean, the skirm numbers are matched, but then there's ballistics already in for Dark. And Dark also has extra HP. There's the market. There's the university. And I think it was good for Dragonstar that he just gave up on the market, relocated from the farms, and Dark is on the way up. Dark is on the way to imp, man. What a crazy imp time. Telling you, he won't be distracted. He doesn't have anything else to manage. It is just produce your army, control your army, and Dark has some incredible micro here. I would not expect Dark to take any poor fights over the next couple minutes. I'm really... Okay, I got scared. I jinxed him there. But he's just so confident when he goes into fights. He backs away to the hill. Dragonstar needs to clear this army before Imp, or he needs to get to Imperial Age himself, but he is a long way from the Imperial Age. Luckily, a lot of the eco's in the back, but it's kind of hard to protect everything, especially if you're not mining any stone for towers. And relics are coming in for Dark, which is a nice little addition to the economy, I suppose. But yeah, it's just all about the range units here. Remember that game? Dark was like 60 vils behind Sito in the quarry game. and he almost won with Arbalest and Bomber Cannons. That's essentially what he's going for again. And he sees that Mangonel, doesn't seem too concerned. Backs away, sees the skirmishers here. But Dragonstar needs to engage on this. Not sure Dragonstar's realized that he's had the audacity to go 1 TC fast in because it's so rare. There's the engagement. Dragonstar does have ballistics on the way. Oh! And Dark cuts it a little too close for comfort there. And maybe now Dragonstar can start to find the engagements. Nice engagements so far for Dragonstar. Chasing the armies down. More importantly, he's getting space. He's getting time. And I honestly, I think the second he sees Imp, he needs to stop producing villagers in full. Just like full idle and try and click up. Being melee, you can get there so fast. He's got 3 vills in queue right now. Let's see if he produces those and then produces any more. Bracer's on the way. Chemistry's on the way for Dark. Again, Dark's already relegated. Part of it's probably just he wants these games to be as quick and as painless as possible, but he's going for the most aggressive strategy he can think of here. Yeah, no more vills after those 3 for Dragonstar. He's fully idling. Really smart. And then you just wait, and then you drop off your res, maybe use the market and try and click up. And then this space you've had to push forward, you've gained yourself some time, so you could just back away then as he chases you down with the additional upgrades. Dark's got to push now. These units have to be going forward. Dragonstar's now backing up, and Dragonstar's now 2 minutes away from Imp. But you got to keep your army alive. You got to keep your base alive. Bombard cannons can come out. Guys, I'm telling you, this is dangerous. Like, the Vil difference will not matter if Dragonstar loses the whole front of his base. Like, all of his eco is right there. I guess he does have this side eco, of course, which is kind of nice. Even the production buildings, right? Like, this is going to be tough. First Bomber Cannon's on the way. Siege Workshop coming forward from Dark. Dark's got 40 military against 20 military, and Dark still has the far stronger upgrades. Damn. Again, the sides just will not matter with how Dark's playing this. Maybe eventually it does, because he runs out of the gold, the wood, or something like that. But, like, no, he's just going full push. Guard tower upgrade for Dragonstar. This I like. Just any amount of resistance is important here. It doesn't help you from the bombard cannons, but it does help you from the armies moving in for now. It drops another tower in the back. This is nice, too. If you can catch out the reinforcements, it's very nice. But, oh, man, big bombard cannon shot there from Dark. Dark moving on this way. He has Imp Skirm. Imp Skirm and Vietnamese Arbalest. Malay are just hoping that they can have the superior economy and make the inferior range units here. The Knights even trying to contribute here. They might do a little bit, but no, Dark's full focused on the military here. He'll never lose that. Repairs come in. He won't lose it. I don't think he'll lose it. He doesn't lose it. He's killing off the skirms. He's got an army over here. He's got an army over here. He's everywhere. And now he's starting to push the town centers with the bombard cannons. Oh, man, this is so much pressure dished out by Dark. And so far, he just hasn't been losing any fights. You genuinely just have to make your own bombard cannons, which you can only do in 15 seconds, and your own skirms, but your skirms are just far worse. It's really complicated. And especially because your siege workshop's here, so now you're like, all right, I need a bombard cannon. Oh, yeah, can't do that. You got to build it from the side. It's just so freaking awkward, man. Dark knows exactly where Dragonstar can expand to as well. He's looking in the north to see if Dragonstar's up there. He'll find he's not there. He's still tracking this army, so this army will end up getting killed off. And he's pushing the main gold from Dragonstar. Guys, I'm concerned for Dragonstar. 60 vills up, but I don't think he can kill this army. Where's the guy in YouTube chat who scolded me for saying Dark was dangerous? T90's exaggerating with Dark being dangerous. Look at this play. 1 TC, doesn't care. He's just killing everything. Archer ranges and villagers going down. Over here, we find a nice clear from Dragonstar. But, like, at the moment, he cannot match the skirm numbers and he cannot match the bombard cannon numbers. I think the thing is, if you clear this, you could just run. Run some vills up there. If you have to abandon your main base with the vills, do so as well. You have areas to expand. Cling to life. You're convincing yourself your eco's way better. It's crazy. The score wouldn't tell me that the eco is what it is, but that's just the kills from Dark and the amount of buildings he's destroying with these cannons. He's already dealt 20k damage with these bombard cannons. But yeah, forget the score, forget, you know, all of that if you're Dragonstar. You just got to fight today. You got to get that 3-0 here. But, oh, man, it's looking so rough. It's looking so rough. Skirmishers are coming this direction. Dark's got a beautiful economy for one town center economy. I know the Vil count's not there, but it's been extremely efficient. And he's just not losing fights. Mass evacuation here for Dragonstar. While he has 100 Vils, they haven't exactly been working efficiently. As buildings are still going down. I like the counter raid, though. At least now, Dark won't have any units coming forward, any additional units coming forward for a minute. And maybe the last stand for Dragonstar, because he has waited until he gets 4 or 5 cannons of his own up here. Siege Engineers is not in. It's 1 TC for both now. And, okay, so now it's just a huge micro battle where Dragonstar has the hill. For the first time, Dragonstar's actually stabilized and held a position. Oh, man. The micro's got to be insane here, though. And Dark's micro is just so good. That was a beautiful attack round. Oh, the skirms and another attack round as well. He takes 2 cannons. Guys, he's still not losing any cannons either. These cannons have been insane. 20 kills, 30k damage. He's also using his ARBs and using his skirmishers against the bombard cannons because there's not enough from Dragonstar. And Dark gets the win. Second win of the season. He goes full on 1 town center down 60 villagers, and he just smashed him. Well played. Again, that is dangerous. 1 town center versus 3 town center. If you're not taking the trades against their army, which Dragonstar wasn't able to do, they can find the numbers and they can find the timing. It's extremely rare, but what Dark did reminds me of like Leary. When Leary's confident, Leary's just like, I'm going to make range units. I'm going to upgrade my range units, and you're going to die to them. Well played to Dark. Huge in terms of the storyline for Dragonstar's for survival now. That is not good for him. Has to win the next game. But Dark's like, hey, ka-ching, ka-ching. $30 for win, finally. And he gets the win. And yeah, it was a clean game. It was a very clean game from Dark. I didn't collect as much food and wood, but he didn't need it. And just took perfect engagements the entire time. Guys, he destroyed 14k value. It was just buildings, right? Like the bombard cannons did 29k damage. They got 20 kills. And then, of course, the range units got some valuable kills as well. It was just beautiful. All right. Welcome in, everybody. And someone says, so this game changes nothing for Dragonstar? I think it should change a lot for Dragonstar. If Dragonstar loses this game, he's just straight up relegated. Right? Like, Dragonstar has to win this game, and then he still needs to hope that Viper doesn't get enough wins. Dark, of course, is relegated. But we've got Northern Isles here, and this is this is Dragonstar's home map. We've got Koreans. So Dragonstar will play Koreans, and it's, in my opinion, easily top 3 on this map. I think there's arguments for it being first on the map, but I think if you're arguing it's not first, it would probably be because of Vikings on the other side. So both civs have cheaper ships, just slightly different bonuses with how that plays out. So you got the warships there for Dark being cheaper. You also have the warships being cheaper here with just wood. And Dark, again, comes forward. And Dark is going to do whatever he can to disrupt Dragonstar's attempt at winning. He moves in, he steals a sheep, he uses that sheep, finds a goat, steals that goat. Does he have the transport ship around? Yeah, transport ship's coming back for that. Steals another goat. Dark is like, you're coming down with me, bro. Oh. Oh my god. I'd be so annoyed if I was Dragonstar. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like, you're playing to win, but this means so much for Dragonstar. And Dragonstar's got to be like, you're freaking kidding me, dude. You're already relegated, and now you're like, you're laming, and you're 1 TC smashing people. Like, what is this? I wonder what I predicted on the prediction contest for this series. I didn't predict many good things for Dark before this season because I knew he wasn't as active. I think I might have predicted like 2-1 for Dragonstar. Obviously, I predicted Dark to get more wins than he did this season, but that's really nice. Obviously, there's other ways to get food on this map, and Dragonstar was just pushing in the deer anyways. So probably fish, so it's not as hurtful as it would be on other maps. But if you wanted to go fast castle, that's kind of out the window, in my opinion. And Dark also got some decent scouting, too, because he saw where the lumber camp is, and he sees this gold. So usually, players are going to take the gold right next to their wood there. Mac Badger says, did Viper pay up and bribe Dark to play hard on Dragonstar? I'm going to assume that did not happen, but it's kind of a funny thought. In Silver and Gold League, we had people training and sharing strategies with people they already played in their group, which is like super smart in my opinion. You play someone in the first round, and then you need that person to help you, affect the rest of the group. So like, in Viper's case, he could have immediately just trained with Dark and everybody else that he faced early. That way, Dark could get wins off of Mihai and Sato and Vivi, right? That probably happened a little bit in Platinum, but depends on the player. Depends. We got different teams and different setups. But yeah, Dark's going to have the food. A Dragonstar is doing the sheep trick. Yes! He's doing the sheep trick. So this is... we saw Blue do it. We saw Stone Please do it, and it's a team thing. Like, those players train together, and the thing about it is your opponent thinks that could be a villager, that thinks it could be a scout, but it's really just a sheep. I'm not sure I would do that, though, if I was already down 3 sheep, but it seems like he's still got plenty of food here. Like, in theory, Dark might see that, and Dark's going to be like, oh, he's going to sneak. He's going to go man-at-arms or something. I think at a certain point, you should just know the players that do that, and then you shouldn't be mind-gamed. But then it's a double mind-game, because everyone then thinks you're never going to do anything, and then you do it. Bam. Uno reverse. It is man-at-arms. It is a sneak villager. You just got to wait till a couple rounds later. So I think it's really smart, man. And I talked about it in like 3 or 4 weeks ago when in Gold League and Silver League. But Dragonstar's been doing a lot of training with some Gold League and Silver League players. I don't know who started it. I have to ask around a little bit. We'll probably get an answer eventually. Here comes the scout just to see what Dark's up to. What is Dark up to, actually? Dark's on the way to Feudal Age. Forward dock, which has been really uncommon. But Dark is on the way up much faster than Dragonstar. Dragonstar walling for now, and I think is playing fast castle. Adding lots of fish. Eco's looking kind of awkward, to be honest. Scout could also get trapped here. But Scout is looping around back to the transport. Gate, though, from Dark. And another gate from Dark. That's well played. And when he's in Feudal Age in a minute, he can just kill this Scout. So Dragonstar needs to get out of here somehow. But yeah, I think that if this Scout survives, it's really important. Because Dragonstar needs to eventually know what Dark is going to do with his Feudal Age attack. But he just cannot get free. He almost gets trapped there. He just cannot get free. And the transport's not moving either, which is really rough. There's actually a villager here from Dark. So Dark clearly wants to go aggressive on land. If that transport had looped around earlier, I think maybe the Scout could survive. This is going to be super close. Oh, God. The transport can't make it. The transport can't make it because of the fishing ships. Run! There's a sheep waiting for you! Bam! Survives. Dark's looking at that transport like, why was there a flag on it? That's so weird. All right, transport saves the Scout. That's a big deal. We've got a tower going up behind the woodline on this side. Now, the Koreans have that extra line of sight with the villagers, and that actually gives Dragonstar vision on this. And Dragonstar's already got another woodline. This tower doesn't do that much damage. I don't think Dark played a lot of the new water. I really don't. And maybe been relegated for some time, so maybe he hasn't put in a lot of look into the meta as well. But most players have gone more defensive after the water changes with the back docks and the ability to garrison. But he's gone forward. He's going to go for a galley and a Hulk. And obviously there's the tower, but there's not a whole lot else in the way of aggression for him. Oh, he does find that, though. That should be a dead Scout. Unless that... Oh! Man, this Scout's going through it right now. Saved again. This scout, though. Watch that scout end up scouting something really important. The transport ship is also slightly faster than the Hawk. So the transport ship should be able to survive. Archer range for Dragonstar. He sees the tower. Doesn't seem too bothered by it. Doesn't know there's an archer range as well. Scout is now out. Dragonstar might not have known the math on the transport being a bit faster, but of course there's going to be more ships. Dark wants that kill. Dark kills the sheep. Dark, settle down. You're relegated already. Settle down. Stop being a bully to Dragonstar. No, but seriously, keep it up. That's also really impressive. But stop it. He should keep doing it. I'm just being dramatic. Galleys are coming around. Yeah, it's probably good that the scout got out of the transport ship, but I don't think that scout's going to survive. Here comes the pressure. And Dragonstar needs to click up the castle age here. And this is a lot of pressure, man. You've got the tower, which is doing something. You've got the archers. You've got the ships on the fishing ships back here. You've got a villager that's super weak, and that villager's going to be sniped. Dark has got to be more than happy with his start. And Dragonstar can't click up, guys. He's so close to getting the res to click up. It's so messy. If you go fast castle, you really need to just get there, right? And then you can make turtle ships right away, and there's some add town centers. The more you wait, the more awkward it can be here. I think Dragonstar might be a little bit rattled. It felt like the style Dark could get wins today because Dark is so aggressive. Game 1, he was more passive, of course, but like second game, you got to see his extremes. But he's on the way up. All right, he's on the way up. He has archers. This transport is so important. Transport is so important. Dragonstar wanted to transport archers. I'm sure of it. You want to know how I'm sure of it? He did that crap to me twice. He likes to use that, like 2 archers. He goes over to your base, and then he just plays full water from there. Now, you can walk across the land with the archers. There is that crossing, but that obviously takes a lot longer, and you can get found. Excuse me. Overall, I think the economy's looked really good for Dark. He's obviously had no shortage of food. He's had fishing ships. Has the Viking economy with free wheelbarrow. But while there's been some positives and he's been the one being aggressive for once in the early game, don't know if it's going to necessarily amount to enough to break Dragonstar just yet. The Dragonstar will have his berries. Dragonstar still has 10 fish working. And Dragonstar is planning on turtle ships. Turtle ships that may or may not row very efficiently in terms of the graphics, but I've been told that I should stop bringing that up so much. So this is me not bringing it up by preemptively mentioning the oars bother me. All right? Honestly, impressive from Dragonstar. He didn't lose more fish than he did. I think he just lost that one villager, which is easy to forget about on the shoreline. But beyond that, it's pretty solid. Archer gets sniped over here with his own archers. And the galleys are there. But I think he's got the time, and he should queue up turtle ships now. Yep, there's the turtle ships. Dark still hasn't clicked up. And the fishing ships preemptively garrison. And turtles are about to be on the way from these 2 docks. Here go the archers. Oh, we have a chatter that says, I don't know about the oars. Can you explain in excruciating details, please? Oh, well, if you ask, I have to do it right by the viewers. This person really needs to know. Just watch the way the oars move, okay? Just watch them move. Watch them row. It doesn't look right. Something's wrong with it. In fact, they're glitching out now. Maybe because he's re-clicking them. It bothers me. Dragonstar's defended. I mean, Turtle Ships is a great play. It's an epic ship. I'm sorry. I'm really happy the oars actually move now. The crossbows are here. Dark doesn't have his army here because he went range on the front. And he kind of big-time panics there. He pulls 13 villagers to try and stop this. That's exactly what you want to see. You don't necessarily need to smash villagers. You want a panic, and Dark's got nothing here. Dark has nothing. He was not prepared for this at all. I expected a little bit more in resistance. I thought there'd be skirmishers around or something. I mean, he does have some of his ranged units over here, but he had no defense. And the turtles are also going to be coming in for his fish as well. So he's planning on longboats. But these 4 crossbowmen so far have done so much damage for Dragonstar. Nice shot from Dark, though. You don't really need the food. You have fish. You need wood. You need gold. And he is building a range. He can move to the wood and the gold. And he is still saving some of these galleys, too. Now, the harassment back here isn't going to do enough long-term. The fishing ships for Dragonstar are out there, too. And Dragonstar, I think, just killed 2 more villagers with these crossbows. Okay, turtles find the fish. They find the navy here. Navy needs to be upgraded for Dark, but he also has other things to look at as well, such as these crossbows. Dragonstar's floating a lot of resources at the moment. If he could spend those resources, he would just skyrocket ahead. And there's the second town center. And a couple more turtles will maybe be on the way. Dragonstar's army just holds a lot of value right now in low numbers. So look, it's rowing the wrong freaking direction, dude. I think when you go for a forward like Dark has, you're hoping that in the late game you can deny the gold and you can deny the stone here. So it's okay that things get a little bit awkward right now. With Elite Skirm, he can clear this. With Viking Economy, he can boom into the game pretty nicely. And then in late game, he's hoping that he could keep an eye on those resources there. The skirmishers are there. Longboats arrive. So we've got unique ship versus unique ship. And the longboats, at least, are much more mobile, right? So they're not as tanky. But I think that mobility is really good in Dark's hands. And I know that turtle ships are strong, but I think longboats are actually superior. If you get... I think it's easier to mass them, easier to position where you want them. And Dragonstar's kind of forgotten about some of his turtles. Like right here, this turtle's just slowly going down. He doesn't see it. There's a 1 range difference, and he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. Not the turtle. Brother, your turtle. Yikes. I mean, the turtles, they did something, but they didn't get that much value, did they? They didn't kill too many villagers. For Dragonstar, it's going to be more so about the land army. Now, he is making a switch, which is probably a good call. He's getting the warships upgrade. He'll play fires. And this is still a lot of really good pressure. He does still have the docks. He does still have the cheaper ships. And if he goes fires and gets a university up as well for careening, it could be really solid. He's going for another dock in the middle. You do not want to ever lose water control against the Vikings. It will be impossible to reclaim it. And guys, Dark has to, or sorry, Dragonstar has to win this game. Otherwise, he is relegated. I think he's at 5 wins now, right? He needs to get to 6 and then hope that Viper doesn't win games later. He's got some good pressure here. Fires are on the move. Turtles on the move. Crossbows are still moving through. Still no additional town center here from Dark. And Dragonstar's just going to keep sending armies into his base like this. Unless there's more resistance. Unless there's towers, town centers, skirmishers with ballistics. What a find from Dragonstar. It's a huge raid. It's an amazing raid. And in the middle as well, he's got a fire ship there taking down the longboat. On the backside, he's got the fire ships as well. Just seems like there's too much multitasking right now for Dark, who is pressuring on the backside and slowly taking down this dock. But, man, these crossbowmen have been the MVPs. But more and more longboats will be massed. There's the upgrade. There's careening now, so that will add the extra pierce armor. You get that from the university now. Could also get clinker construction to add the speed. It's actually a bit more difficult to get to those upgrades because you have to invest into the university when you wouldn't normally have done so. But I guess at the same time, you can still produce ships while researching upgrades, which you couldn't before. So maybe it evens out. But I just like these tiny moments for Dragonstar where these fires have been finding really nice value. The longboats are going to be good in one spot, but there's so many different areas in the map right now. And there's clinker construction. So it'll be additional speed and additional armor on these boats. And Dragonstar's killed 20 eco. Look at the vill counts! It was even 10 minutes ago. Not even 10 minutes ago. Like 7 minutes ago. And now it's 71 eco versus 48. My God, Dragonstar. That was sick. And obviously a big part of that is expanding his own economy very nicely. Great eco upgrades. The 3 town centers being up. And crossbows will maybe go down now. But My goodness. I mean, it feels like a 1 TC imp play again for Dark. I don't know if that's going to be as successful on this map. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep his docks alive either, because there will be a lot of Navy around. Turtle ship cuts it off. I think the turtle ship also gets faster after clinker construction, right? That's pretty nice. Fires are still back here. Dark's definitely balancing his res to click up. I'd like to see Dragonstar just make more fire ships. The siege workshop's a nice addition too. Unfortunately, his crossbows are kind of caught out, but it just add one more thing that Dark has to deal with while you have the better economy here. So a tower or two as well. A tower right here could be awesome. It's right in the choke point where the Navy's going to be coming. I think for Dragonstar, the imp time should be a whole lot closer here than it was in the previous game. Maybe not, though. He's not melee. It's really awkward to spend that much wood into farms right now. So we'll see. But, I mean, Dark's sticking to his game plan. He's sticking to what won him the previous game, which is one town center play. But he's under pressure, right? His docks are going down. Crossbows are in. I don't know where his skirms are exactly, but okay, his skirms are here. But there's also going to be a rocket cart as well. So this is really bad. Really bad for Dark. The Dragonstar adding more fishing ships, snagging gill nets, snagging ballistics now, still spamming in the fires, bringing villagers to now go tower rush too. This dock as well, like the fact that he's fishing over there is very bold. And Dark is about to click up to imp, but he's pushed off of his golds. He's moved down to this gold, but he doesn't have the res to click up. It just doesn't feel like Dark can do this. Not like the previous game where it was tough for Dragonstar to ever match the imp time, or at least match the aggression. Here, Dragonstar's got the numbers everywhere he needs. Water's actually competitive. Land's super competitive too. Dark is just super far behind. T90, are you able to wall up the crossing? I think you actually can. There's different versions of this map. Some versions don't allow you to wall on the edge. I think technically you can wall the majority of that crossing. But you can't wall like on that the terrain. You could wall on the edge of the map though. I mean, that's supposed to be the town center Dark wants to go imp in. So it's not even about imp resources now. It's, will the town center still be up? He'd have to sell off his food, get some gold in return. He's just got so much work to do. So we'll snipe a turtle ship again, but there will be more fires. There's more villagers going down. Dragonstar's going to get his win, guys. And it's still, you know, he still has a chance to survive. Just fully depends on what happens in the next set. And I think Dark is going to tap out here. I think he's kind of forced to. He's got nothing. He's completely dead. He's got the longboats, and then he's got the GG. Dragonstar wins 2-1. Oh, man, I think that second game is going to be so painful for him. If he would have been able to get the 3-0, his chances were so much greater, but he gives himself a chance at least. If that is the last series for Dragonstar in Platinum for a bit, it was a great way to finish, to remind everyone how good his strategies and his builds are. But Dark might have just played a little bit of spoilers here today, snagging the one win, even though he's going down himself. So we'll see. Let's look to the numbers real quick, guys, before we talk about the schedule for the day. But I think this means if Viper wins any games, Dragonstar is out, right? Believe that is the case. So, yeah, live standings. Dragonstar ends with 6 wins. Viper has 6 wins. So, the only way that Dragonstar would stay alive in Platinum League would be if Viper were to get swept by Mihai in our final series of the day. Viper gets 1 win. Viper is at least safe. Now, the rest of the storylines with Viper 2 still remains, where will Viper get top 3, possibly get into the playoff position to play for the whole championship. So, yeah, good showing for Dragonstar. I mean, you got to control what you can. It was a good series win, but we'll see.